Happy holidays, everybody, and Tony here with my tribute to Fanny Cradock, Cooks for Christmas, which aired for 5 episodes on BBC from December 15 to December 19, 1975. The first episode revolves around the Christmas bird, such as turkey, chicken, capon, duck, and goose. The second involves Christmas pudding. The third involves Christmas cakes. The fourth involves minced meat, but not the ground beef version, but the version that has dried fruit, suet, rum, brandy, and orange juice as the main ingredients. And the fifth episode involves petit fours, which basically combines frosting, cream, and various flavors, and also involves the use of choux pastry. And the music used as the opener and closer is Robert Purcell's In Dulce Jubilo in C major, performed by the multi-instrumentalist Mike Oldfield. Before the likes of Gordon Ramsay graced the screen with his no-nonsense, no-holds-barred, and uncompromisingly tough approach to ensuring that food quality remains at the utmost priority, there was Fanny Cradock in all of her glamorous elegance, highbrow style of not only fashion but also food, and someone who was quite renowned for being a connoisseur of international cuisine, not just her native British, but also a great chunk of French cuisine. She has her avid fans, her very avid fans, her detractors, her rather harsh detractors, and her followers, her very loyal followers. Her fans and admirers have always looked up to her because of her glamour, her plummy and absolutely highbrow way of speaking, complete with noble eloquence, coupled with some sarcasm, irony, and a whole lot of delicious lines that she spouts out from her mouth, accompanied by her low, husky contralto voice, while a good chunk of her detractors find her a bit aloof and probably a bit too high class for them. As for me, I admire Fanny Cradock. I absolutely enjoy the way she was able to prepare food in such an elegant and absolutely classy manner. And I also love the way that she talks, using that smoky, husky, deep, and rich contralto voice to emit nobility, as well as emit a highbrow sense of food culture and overall culture in general. And I also have a fair bit of fun with some of her jokes, personal anecdotes, and quirks that made her absolutely well known, sometimes for the better in terms of how she presents herself so elegantly and so genteelly, and sometimes for the worse because her personality may not be for everybody. Regardless, I still consider Fanny Cradock to be one of the great icons of British cuisine. I did encounter her on television rather late in my life, as I was only 22 years old back in 2014. The first program I caught her in was, of course, Fanny Cradock Cooks for Christmas back in November 2014 on BBC. So I was thoroughly engaged with what she was doing in terms of preparation. A couple of the episodes that were major highlights for me were, number one, the first episode involving the Christmas birds, from turkey to chicken to capon to duck to goose. Especially with how she prepares turkey was concerned, her method of pulling the skin so that it could be loose and well lubricated, so that it could also serve as a way to put in stuffings such as mushrooms, as well as thinly sliced ham or gammon or bacon, was absolutely intriguing. And she also states that her reasons for doing this is because, in her humble opinion, turkey is one of those dry birds that does need to have a lot more flavor added into it to ensure that it doesn't stay bland, but accentuates in flavor. And she also does the same skin pulling technique for the chicken so that it could also be well lubricated, while also stuffing in the butter and mushrooms into there for added flavor. Same story goes for the capon. And on top of that, her method of pricking the skin of the duck and goose with 2 forks so that all the fat could seep out of it, and also ensure that the skin stays crisp with the addition of using thin honey, was also absolutely astounding. And it also heightened my curiosity to see how professionals like Madame Fanny Cradock prepare food, specifically where the likes of turkey, chicken, duck, and goose are concerned. There is no doubt that that is my most favorite out of all the 5 episodes shown on the BBC, but I've also enjoyed her way of preparing mincemeat, Christmas pudding, Christmas cakes, and petit fours. In terms of the Christmas pudding, she always ensures which ingredients should be well combined according to which order, specifically where the wet ingredients and dry ingredients are concerned. And I also enjoyed the way she was able to help us, the viewers, decipher between a white cake and a much darker looking cake, as well as other cakes that have different textures and different ways of preparation, especially where the use of fondant is concerned, and how to properly cover specific cakes with the right type of fondant. As for the episode involving mincemeat, the highlight of this episode was seeing Fanny Cradock not only prepare the mincemeat, which has such ingredients such as dried fruit, dried peel, orange juice, rum, and brandy to ensure that the consistency of a good mincemeat stays stable for a long time. And she also uses this ingredient to make her omelet, which she uses that ratio of butter and eggs to ensure that the omelet comes out as presentable as well as well balanced in terms of flavor. And since mincemeat is also involved, it's also topped with powdered sugar, which was quite a curious move for a sweet omelet, but in my mind, I thought seems rather interesting. And the petit four preparation, especially with her emphasizing the use of a good choux pastry, coupled with the right frosting and cream fillings, was thoroughly engaging to witness. Aside from her astute, no-nonsense manner of food preparation, I also enjoy Fanny Cradock's personal anecdotes, like how she used to learn a lot of the recipes from her mother, and threw shade at one of her customers who didn't really follow the recipe to a T, even though she claimed to have followed one of the recipes to a T. Furthermore, her assistant Sarah is a nice compliment to Fanny Cradock's bold, out there, and totally extravagant way of elegance, as well as presenting herself on television, coupled with her assistant Sarah's meek and absolutely lovely yet docile personality. So this 5-episode Christmas special starring the wonderful Fanny Cradock was an absolute blast. I learned so much from this particular set of recipes, and I found myself opening my mind to wondering how each of them can be prepared so well as sparked my own curiosity of how I could prepare them, let alone whet my appetite every time I see Madame Fanny Cradock prepare all of these delicious delicacies. I'm sure that a great chunk of my older viewers have seen Fanny Cradock on television multiple times, especially those based in the United Kingdom. And if you are one of those viewers, please let me know in the comments below about what you think about Fanny Cradock. I would love to hear from you because I've been rather curious about Fanny Cradock for many years, or more specifically for 10 years, given that I first saw her on television back in 2014, and I still enjoy and love her to this very day. And on top of that, to not be so corny, I've also looked up to her as a role model. That is just how influential of a culinary personality, let alone a TV personality, Fanny Cradock truly was. And for those of you who caught Fanny Cradock Cooks for Christmas, what'd you think of it? Did you really enjoy this particular Christmas special starring Fanny Cradock? What was your favorite recipe being included on here? Did you enjoy any of the recipes that she prepared? And would you like to try any of them? Or do you feel like this particular Christmas special was not for you? Please let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for my tribute to Fanny Cradock, Cooks for Christmas. Tune in later for my tribute to Delia's Classic Christmas, starring Delia Smith. So until then, happy holidays, everybody!